stage.
How do you
I'm very
defend towers?
concerned. I'm concerned about defending towers.
How do you defend
Exactly.
towers? I mean, look at this EG lineup is just going to run at you.
Yeah, and
They're
they
literally going to run at you in all 3 lanes.
and they picked this lifesteal because what, he's just going to do this like Radiant Solar Crest build, and then the PL gets countered pretty heavily.
Right. What do all those PA illusions do in fights? Yeah, this is tough. This is a really tough game for Navi.
Okay, if there's one thing that Navi is going to rely on to do well, what is it? What do the Navi fans, look out for?
I felt like I said it before the game started, but I feel like Lil in general have to put in so much work in this game. This
100%.
Naga Siren has to make really clean rotations around, and I think this Tiny has to have a super early Blink Dagger to at least disrupt when EG's trying to set up for those tower pushes.
They need like 3 spectacular sleeps.
All right, start counting, Navi fans, because I think that this is going to be a tough one for them. Let's find out what our commentators think about the draft for these 2 teams. It is over to Gods and Scant.
Thank you, Shiver. There's doubts around Navi, their draft, their chances, at least in game 1. This is the best of 3 against EG. Do you share those doubts? Do you think Navi don't have the right tools this game?
I think I have even bigger doubts. I think my big concern, the way I'd put it, is that Navi needs items, and EG just kind of need levels. So EG get online before Navi, because with the levels, they're already going to be starting to push, and Navi are going to still be waiting for those items.
Yeah. I love how this last pick lifesteal fits in too, because I felt like one of the few options for Navi to defend this snowball was, you have this sleep team fight. You sleep, you Ice Path, Macropie, SF Requiem, this big team fight combo. Lifesteal says, well, I've got Rage. So that pick in itself just naturally combos very well with what EG are trying to do and just trying to snowball through these towers without being worried about a team fight.
Yeah, the other nice thing about the Lifestealer, we saw back at TI4 in the Death Ball was popular, people would pick Lifestealer because a lot of the time in the early push strats, the timing is the BKB, but he's already got it. So you don't need to wait for that timing. You get an even earlier timing to go high ground.
Yeah. You can go straight for the damage items and not have to worry about some kind of item, which honestly, those games where you feel like you have to get a first-time BKB, your late game doesn't really exist, so it's kind of nice. And something Fog mentioned is the build we're often seeing, particularly against a hero like PL, is you don't actually play the fighting build. You go for this Radiance style Lifestealer where you're in an Ancient, you're 5-manning with your team with this big golem that doesn't care about PL and his illusion.
Are they going to go deep enough for this PL? Probably not.
There's a dire ward there which is going to now scout out several EG heroes, so does not look like anything will come of this. If anything, Navi should just be thinking, let's grab a couple of runes up top.
So what Navi needs to do, Fogd was saying, is Lil needs to make a lot of plays this game, but the thing is, early on he was playing Rubik, now he's playing Naga Siren, and I feel like it's maybe a little bit harder to set up, for example, at least to set up kills for Naga Siren early on.
Well, the player they also touched on was General, getting a fast blink, being disruptive, and he's being put in the safe lane, so if there's a way for him to get a good timing on his blink dagger to have a good game, perhaps the safe lane is where it's at. It is a Pugna lane, so not necessarily an easy lane by any means.
Yeah, that's not an especially safe lane, especially if the Tusk is there, like, that's a very dangerous lane.
We'll see if Tusk stays there. He is just going to go for that shard block to make sure that Sumel gets a better lane equilibrium, so maybe not looking to stay in this top lane. If anything, Tusk, this game I think about where should he go. The mid SF is the hero that's most vulnerable, typically to a Tusk. You get the shards block on the ramp, SF is stuck on the low ground, and you could find some very easy kills there.
Does mean that Navi run the PL and Jakira in the bot lane. We just look at the mid lane quickly. Lil is trying to do what we're discussing.
Securing mid lane, he didn't think perhaps Naga the typical mid lane 4 position, but hey, he's doing just fine here, getting here down very low from the get-go. And this is something, DK talked about being very tanky, hard to bully, but level 1, he does not have that survivability just yet.
Yeah, I just wanted to say about the bot lane, that because the Tiny's not there, because they're not doing the off lane, Peel obviously isn't going to be at risk, but Jakira can actually die in this lane once there's a couple of levels on the Lifesteal and the Ancient Apparition.
Right, I think the start for Navi with this dual lane mid is definitely the way to go, though. We're seeing Lil just use this Orb of Venom, Stout Shield, Riptide, Harass. He's tanking creeps, drawing the aggro, constantly harassing Fear, and making sure Dendi gets the early last hit. And Dendi, level 2, is going for the kill. Fear can't walk away because the third raise will hit him, so he gets first blood. Oh no, this is a disaster. This could not have gone well. Dendi will end up getting the kill there, the third raise. Fear plays that so well. He stays in close, does not give Dendi the triple raise, and actually finds a kill of his own. That is not the outcome they were hoping for. Top lane aggression going back the other way as EG this time the ones starting things off, and they will get a kill on General.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I mean, normally you look at the mid lane and dominating mid lane being such a big deal. But in this game, I think that shutting down Tiny is actually more important than shutting down DK. So if that's the trade, it's still favorable for EG.
This Tiny only just now hits level 2, so definitely having a rough time. At this point, you kind of look at SF and you're like, well, look, no more help. Why? You're against a DK. Your hero naturally does very well against a Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight goes into last hit. You throw a couple raises on him. Dendi just needs a couple of levels, which he has got in raises. So this should be a very manageable matchup for him at this point, where he doesn't need the further assistance.
Yeah, both teams going to be satisfied there. Shadow Fiend will get value, DK will be right, and
Dendi going for another triple raise. Oh, there's an ensnare. The triple raise itself was not going to be enough, but Lil shows up with a Riptide, gets the last hit. Nicely done there. Fear kind of calculating that he could survive the triple raise, but did not take into consideration the Lil rotation.
so this looks like this is the way Navi's going to be running at the moment in this tournament. They're just focusing a lot on Dendi's lane, trying to give him a good early advantage, and expecting him to pay them back later on.
Oh, he's getting very low there. One more lance could be his death, but he does manage to get into the trees, get the salve off, will not get broken by the Jewel Breath. Not get damage out of that one, and there, now Arteezy's going to turn, has Rage back up, wants LeBron, and it looks like LeBron will pay the price for that chase there, not able to cancel the salve, and as a result, this bottom lane looking very good for EG all of a sudden.
And this is what I was talking about earlier on. Like, I'm sure your PL can't die to this combination, but he's not going to farm if he's alone. He needs the
Kill up top, but it's also back in mid. Fear now getting gone on once more. Feels like deja vu, the old man not having much fun as the dual lane action continues, but I think he's going to look at his side lanes and feel like it's going okay.
Yeah, it's that exact same trade, right? So when we talk about, I think people talk a lot about how EG have very fluid cores, they mix around between the three of them, but if anything, I think Fear's more of the three most of the time these days, and Sumail and Arteezy are doing well, like, he definitely doesn't mind.
Yep. Definitely the case right now. Sumail, top of the CS with 23, and Arteezy's Life Sealer equals second with the 20 last hits in the bottom lane. Let's go to Gloves at Haze. Curious to see where he's going with this. Going to be just building some treads, or if he's going to go for something a bit more unexpected, like a Midas pickup.
You could even go for the armlets, right? Just decide we're going to go for a super early timing.
Yeah, if you don't want to farm up the Radiance and feel like you are the more early game team, to start plowing through some towers with the Pugna as well as Dragon Knight, the armlet may be the decision.
He's actually bought a Wraith Band now, which he's sending to himself, so that's going to be a Ring of Aquila, I guess.
Combo from Tiny, trying to get back out of there. Don't think he'd feel too safe going back into this Pugna, but he is going to look for it. Grit will survive the damage output from the Naga. Both sides getting incredibly low. There's Sumail, going to be bottom lane. That's where Misery goes down to crystallize. The action up top not spilling any blood. Bottom lane where Misery, just a support kill, does end up going down.
Yeah, it does continue to get beaten down. I mean, he's really losing out on the farm now.
And this is one of those matchups where, you, at this point, a level 5 or 6 SF in this case, level 3 raises, you can't actually go in at all. He gets a salve cancelled, he's getting pummeled. Dendi getting every rune, and that's one of the things with EG's lanes, these dual lanes in the side, they don't have anyone controlling the runes, and because Lil is roaming around, Dendi's able to get every single rune, and that's just added to the beatdown in this mid lane.
Could be an ensnare.
He's perhaps in range for it, but Dendi also needs to be there with the double raises.
Yeah, I think at this point you just accept that Dragon Knight's the offlaner, and you know, consider the value he's getting as an offlane.
He's level 4. I guess that's the main worry. You're okay with the DK being under farm, but you do still want those levels for a hero to at least be able to hit some decent timings here, and see if he's going to get ganked again, because here comes Lil, ensnare at the ready. Couple of raises, Dendi, one more will finish off the kill. Nicely done. Kill after kill, rune after rune. He gets a regen up top, but it's top lane where the kills go EG's way. Once again, this has definitely been their domain. Sumail now 2-0-1, and this tower is going to start getting chipped away at by the Nether Blast.
Yeah, so it's going to be on Sumail. I mean, normally Dragon Knight gets good levels and farm early on, gets level 6, starts killing towers, and they've got the Pugna who can do the same thing actually in this game. So we're gonna have to see like what Sumail gets done early on to make back that little bit of space for Fear, but so far doing very well. Gets the life
bottom
chain.
lane, Arteezy in some trouble. He's been surrounded by 3. The ensnare going through the rage. The Ice Path will clip him as well. This should be the death of the Life Stealer as
they'll get the top tower forwards, I think.
Oh, Dendi's come in. This is actually a bit of a problem for him. The toss Avalanche not going to land, and Dendi actually, the TP taking too long, he cancels it, I believe? Yeah, Dragon Knight did not use stun in mid. That was a quicker TP. He definitely could have found at least a support kill, but in the end he stays mid and he can start right-clicking down this tower a bit.
Yeah, I think they figured that they're going to lose their tower anyway, and if he TPs out, it gives too much space to fear.
That seems to me to be the decision Na'Vi should be making, but General lingers a bit too long there and does end up getting caught out by the Tusk while the tower goes down. It really seems like now is the time to just leave that tower, except you're winning at least mid lane.
Oh, fear.
Yeah, they saw this one coming, they did scan it, and yeah, he's not going to get gone on as Dendi thinks better of it. Level 8 now on the Shadow Fiend.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Lane, crystallize, and they find some more kills onto Arteezy. He's holding his own, trying to just fight his way through this, and he's doing just that. Really not a bad position for Lifesteal to be in, despite the one death. He's holding his own, pretty even on farm with the Phantom Lancer.
So why do you think he's bought the Ring of Aquila? Is that for the mana regen?
Yeah, it's one of those items that always feels good to have as a carry. That's my impression with the item, like, even as a mid laner. Like, I've seen Queen of Pains get it, like, get on Visage, like, whichever, even these non-agi heroes just benefit so much because it's a lot of, you get plus 10 damage, mana regen, like you say. It just feels, it never feels like a wasted investment.
And he's under pressure this game.
Mid lane. Be a big kill if they can get it. Dendi is definitely the ideal target to kill here if you're in EG shoes here. He's still got some range ups, keeping him alive a bit longer. He's going to turn through a raise, looking for more. It's Sumail. If he goes down, that's perhaps the kill that Na'Vi want most. With the Tiny doing some body blocks here, they're trying to get that one, but instead they get crit in the Roshan pit. Sumail turning around with the life drain. The Ice Path will find him, but Na'Vi too low to chase there as Fear posing somewhat of a threat now on the Dragon Knight, hitting level 6 and having that Dragon form with a point in the stun. Give him some good, reliable initiation.
So, Na'Vi doing pretty well to respond to the two pushing cores, but the lifesteal is getting a lot of space now, and he's just queued up that Radiance, so he figures, you know, I'm getting free farm, I'm going straight there.
Yeah, the Treads Radiance, he did upgrade the gloves to the Treads. This has been kind of the build that's trending a bit with lifesteal at plays, particularly against certain heroes like PL that you just can't fight into with your traditional armlet, SMY, Deso type builds.
I think EG want to try kill Tiny again. They recognize the importance of General.
Yeah, and he's often going to be alone trying to farm up towards that Blink Dagger, so slowing him down would definitely help them out a lot. Aetherland's on Sumail. See if he can get this kill, the snowball in forward. They're going to go chasing for this one. Crit has an Ice Shards, and I think General is in a world of pain here as he does end up going down. Nice kill for EG. Well played by Crit to let Sumail do as much damage as possible with the life drain before snowballing him in to allow him to get another Nether Blast off.
And this is going to be a recurring problem for Na'Vi now, because anyone they send to that top lane, there's no tower near enough, no one can respond, and it's just too easy to get a pick off on whoever's there.
Yep. Can Dendi, with the start and the support he's got, kind of carry this game, do you feel?
I think it is possible. I think it depends a lot on how quickly he does in fight. Speaking of which,
we're going to find out, yeah. Aetherland's on Pugna. Dendi with a haste rune really wants to fight this one. Crit has already used the snowball. Dendi gets the double raise. Will not go chasing for Sumail.
Yeah, I think the potential for Dendi to carry this game depends a lot. Like, we see a team fight. Does he stay up for most of the fight? Definitely his team's going to win that fight. But if he goes down early on, they probably fall apart.
And for EG, do you think this Radiance timing is now what they're looking at? We talked about how, hey, maybe they play fast-paced, push down towers. They've taken the one tower top, but it doesn't really feel like they're going to play a fast-tempo game right now.
I think they'd probably like to kill the other tier 1s before the Radiance, but they'll be happy to wait for the Radiance before going further than that. They're going to go for the mid-tier 1 now.
When you look at Na'Vi, what do they have to defend towers? Something the panel really brought up as a big problem. These 3 cores will not be able to do a whole lot until Tiny has a blink. And ideally Naga has sleep, which is not the case. Level 5 only on Lil's Naga.
Yeah, actually just requires some brave play from Dendi on the Shadow Fiend. You know, he's got to be that frontliner raising away the creeps.
Well, Fear, recognizing that that's exactly what Dendi's trying to do, is going to go in on him and gets the stun, and Sumail folds it up, and that is a big kill for Sumail to get. He is getting out of control, has a Kaya queued up on Pugna.
I did say brave, but that's the thing. To push out the waves, they need him to expose himself, and you've got pretty long-range initiation with the Tusk and the Dragon Knight, so that's the tower, and now I think the bottom tower probably also dies as a result.
Mentioned getting the tier 1s before the Radiance. Well, that's a great way to speed up the Radiance, and that looks like exactly what they're going to do. The mid tier 1 going down. Patience back towards top, perhaps. I think General, again, the target. If they can kill this Tiny again, slow down the blink further and further, Na'Vi is going to have a lot of problems taking any kind of a team fight in. Well, Sumel, of course. Kill after kill seems to be going to his name. As well as tower after tower at this point.
And it's such a commentary on map control, actually, because I think people often, when they talk about a tower going down, they're just talking about the gold. But this top lane tower being... I think the AA probably goes down yet. It's not a huge deal. The fact that EG got that tier 1 top so early on has meant that the Tiny just can't get his blink target. Because where does he go on the map? He goes there, he dies. He goes there, he dies. There's nowhere else for him to go. So it just opened up the map so much and gave EG so much control over that area.
Na'Vi can kind of reclaim it a little bit. There's wards around their shrine. They are farming in their own jungle, but danger is they're not really pressuring EG at all at this point. They're giving Arteezy all the room and space to just farm up towards this Radiance, and there we go. Na'Vi, they're going to smoke up. This is, it feels like a move they just at this point need to be making. Find some kills. It's not even like a specific target. If anything, I think the target is getting towers. At this point, you need objectives. A kill on Arteezy is probably the best kill you can get, but try and get some towers, create some space for General's Tiny to actually farm a blink.
There's actually almost no TPs ready if they were to go on Arteezy, but it looks like they're...
EG themselves smoked up and headed bottom, so General again on the receiving end of a EG gank. And unfortunately for Na'Vi, the smoke of their own is too far away to help him out, it looks like. Avalanche going to catch a few here. General going to go down to sleep just a little bit too late, but this could set up a big Requiem. Here goes the Macropire. Ice Path, Requiem from Dendi, winds it up, looks to blow up Sumel, does do so with the race. Ice Blast comes flying in as well, helps out EG to have to turn this one, and Arteezy with the rage wants Dendi. Can he get him with the snowball in? It looks like that may be the case. They might need a night shot to block. He's going to turn and raise. Dendi has no escape. There's the block from the shard. Dendi just trying to hold his own and do what damage he can, but it's too little too late. As Arteezy chews through a couple, but does end up going down. Crystallize on the backlines has a triple kill. It's not Dendi that we got to worry about. It's Crystallize, who on the PL, defusal or not, has managed to get himself an ultra kill. He wants the rampage. He wants misery. Will not go for it with his hero. This PL is just so incredibly strong at this stage of the game. Right-clicking people down with the Phantom Rush Doppelganger build. And Na'Vi actually come out on top of that fight.
Yeah, EG had to use everything they had to try and react to the initial Naga initiation, and then PL comes in late, just cleans up. And that's the full Diffusal Blade now for PL. So if a fight like that happens again, the same thing can actually happen. Like he did without the Diffusal Blade, with the Diffusal Blade, it's much more guaranteed he can make those plays.
This seems key for Na'Vi, is taking team fights with sleep before this Radiance. Because once the Radiance comes up, well, you can't really deal with life steal. He's in an Ancient Creep, for example. And
Dendi.
is he going to be going brought down again? Does get back to the safety of his tower. No sleep. Is this something that EG look to punish, or is it just not really possible until they get some of like the item like the Radiance?
I mean, they wanted to finish the tier 1, but I think tier 2s, they can't quite do it just yet with the Naga ulti down. They probably need to kill first, and that's what they were trying to do before, right? They killed the Tiny before the fight started. They were unfortunately just like really badly positioned for the Naga to catch them immediately afterwards. But that's what we talked about a lot, the panelists were talking about as well. What EG wants to do is they want to make sure they're still the ones taking the initiative, they're still the ones in the front foot. They don't want to be reacting in this game.
Well, as it stands, very little separating these two teams in terms of gold lead right now. See Na'Vi continue to work towards items of their own. Dendi at bottom does get gone on, and he is brought down. There's a Jakira behind him, but it's not going to save his life. So perhaps on objectives during the downtime of the sleep, but it is big kills, as that is the third death for this Shadow Fiend who had such a good start. He has fallen off in terms of where he stands in net worth. Good news is for Na'Vi is Crystallize has picked it up. He's leading as far as Na'Vi goes, and only behind the Pugna of Sumel.
Yeah, I don't know though. They invested so much in the Shadow Fiend, and if you look at EG, for example, they invested in the Pugna and the Lifestealer. They're still doing a great job.
Something also touch on is that as strong as PL seems as a hero, this is a tough PL game. There's a lot of magic damage flying around, a lot of AoE spells, Nether Blast, Free Fire, the Radiance, Lifestealer is going to be particularly effective. AA, Tusk, all these heroes have good magic damage, and for the most part AoE magic damage.
Yeah, the only reason he gets an ultra kill in the previous fight is because he comes in a little bit late, because the way they initiate is so good that EG have to use all their spells right away.
Yeah.
So if the PL has to be in the fight right from the beginning, he's not going to have that kind of fight.
And EG used a lot of spells on Dendi, which is perhaps not going to be the case with PL getting be the bigger problem.
Yeah, he's actually, PL's just gone for Hood. He recognizes like they need him to be in the fight to deal damage, and so...
Big fan of this pickup. I think it's one of those items on PL in these fighting PL games. It is absolutely worth buying
Dire's
a
bottom
Hood.
tower is under attack.
I think EG are going to go for a play soon, maybe with the smoke. They've got the Blink Dagger now and the Dragon Knight, and they probably want to make a kill with the dagger reveal.
See if the Naga Sleep can do much about that. There's a Meteor Hammer up on Lil. Rage can, of course, block the Meteor Hammer landing as far as other heroes goes. Pugna has a Blink, so he can get up, but Pugna caught at the bottom. General, his Blink reveal, perhaps the better of the two Blink reveals, as DK not actually there. And it's Tiny General finding, at the time, the net worth leader. He picks up the big kill there. Na'Vi, gotta say, this game feels like it's in a pretty decent spot for them. Top lane, Arteezy gonna survive. Crystallize tried to bring him down.
Yeah,
It was an escape though.
It's looking pretty good for Na'Vi, but remember that when you're going for a Radiance, there is usually this gap, because like you've got this core with all this gold that's not doing anything with that gold. So what we need to evaluate is in the next few minutes, once the Radiance is up, they go with the DK's Blink Dagger, they go for a play or two. That's the real test for Na'Vi. If Na'Vi come out like fine after the next 5-10 minutes of this game, then I'll really feel confident with them.
Yep. I think a big thing which can vary a lot is Shadow Fiend builds. This feels like a game. He's going for the Hurricane Pike. You think it's going to be more the right-click build, given that there's, you know, a life stealer, and also it may just be hard to rely too much on like the nukes against heroes like a Pugna with the ward up, or what do you feel SF needs to be doing this game in terms of his item build?
He probably needs to get a BKB after this, I think, because like I said, he needs to be able to stand in the fight, stand his ground. We already said that PL's not going to be able to do it. The Tiny's super far behind. You're going to have someone who can actually stand ground in a fight.
He's got it queued up as right after he finishes the Pike, so that does seem quite likely.
Yeah, and the Pike was also necessary because he kept getting killed by ice shards. So he just needs to find ways to stay alive, and that's the sort of catch-22. If Naga's using the ulti to initiate, it's going to be a bit harder. You know, you can't use it actually to save as well then. And here comes that smoke from EG.
Yep. Give up their bottom tower, but they are looking to do bigger damage up top, and TZ having Radiance, definitely good sign. He's even got a Granite Golem waiting for him at the nearby Ancients if he wants to go and grab it, so may just be a tower that Na'Vi have to give up. Sleep setup is kind of the way they have to approach these fights, I feel, but this fight just may not be one they're in position to take. And yeah, they'll give up the T2.
And Fear has still hidden the dagger. He's just been jungling since he got it. So that might be some way to catch them. And if they catch someone like the Naga Siren, for example, then all of a sudden, like, the fight can become a disaster for...
I do feel like Na'Vi kind of have to know at this point. You know, you've seen this Dragon Knight with 0 items. You assuming he has either a Blink or a Shatter Blade.
Yeah, I mean, if they've spent any time thinking about what's going on with Dragon Knight, they would have thought about it. And actually, he's just going to go into the mid lane now, so... Yeah.
I think if you're in Fear's shoes, you're like, they haven't been missing from...
Long,
it's not beneficial to hide it for that long if you're sacrificing farm and your opponents surely they kind of know at some point.
So he's going to go for his BKB now, and that's going to be the next big timing for EG. Because then when you've got the lifesteal with the Rage and the Dragon Knight with the BKB, you're much less susceptible to the combos, the initiation from Na'Vi.
Na'Vi looking to do smoked up around this mid lane. T1 tower still standing, which is why they headed this way. Fear gonna be... Oh, he misses the avalanche. I was looking for the Ava toss back, I imagine.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Throwing
attack.
from Misery, securing some creeps.
Quite a lot of time wasted actually by Na'Vi. Phantom Lancer was farming a bit, but EG spread on the map, getting a lot of value.
Yep. The Crystallize looking to go for an SMY, it looks like. Pure stats here.
Sumail has really been committing. He's been hiding for a long time. He's gonna go back into the trees, but like he's just been sitting in this top lane waiting for someone to come. He wants to make a kill here.
Yeah, and even if he's not finding kills, he's still getting the farm and clearing creep waves, so it doesn't feel too counterproductive.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
When EG look to make any big moves here, as far as this game's slowing down right now, it kind of seems to be dragging neither team. Even with the Radiance timing we talked about, EG aren't forcing or pressing the issue. Does it feel like this favors either team?
So I think that EG must have decided that the Naga Siren counter initiate is too risky for them to like overcommit, and so they're going into farm mode. So look, I don't think it necessarily favors either team in terms of the heroes they have. So it's going to favor the teams getting better farm off the map, which I think to a small extent at the moment is EG. See the A has actually gone for the Midas as well.
Fine, I say this, he's going to go Rage and chases on. Crystallize still wants him, and Arteezy may need to infest into a teammate here. Doesn't have a good escape. The Diffusal Blaze there. Crit will... Oh, he doesn't get caught in the sleep, Lil. 4-star forward, he's trying to get the catch here. There we go, gets the Tusk now. Sleepwell's committed. He's going to have a rage after this. The snowball there as well. I don't know if this is going to go well for Na'Vi. Dendy winds up a Requiem. There goes Arteezy with the rage. Can they bring him down with the physical damage? Does not look like it. And EG pull Na'Vi in deep. Use the Shrine perfectly. They get a second kill out of this team fight. Perhaps can chase for more as Lil is in a pickle. Trapped between Arteezy and a couple of trees. 3 down. Smell wasn't even there. Very good defensive play from the Lifestealer there.
Yeah, and very well played by Crits as well. He's in the right position exactly when he needs to be, and that's what he's been doing the whole game, offensively and defensively. Like, I think the panel said, he's like one of the most experienced Tusk players in the world. It used to be, I think, him and Jerax were just like the Tusk spammers and come back into the meta, and he really knows how to make the best of that hero. He's got a dag of his own now, so
yep.
That saving is going to be super easy.
Yeah, that what happened there, he did without the blink just by positioning. Well, you've got this item that gives you easy positioning to begin with,
and this is the thing we were talking about, like Frog was saying with all of his teams, he coaches them to be very clinical, and this is EG. They find an opening, and it's not the most obvious opening, it's quite a small opening, but they go straight into the rush pit and they're going to get it.
well, the opening is one that they're very reactionary as a team and always have been, and their opening was created by their opponent's kind of mistake. They got too aggressive, they dove too far. You kind of understand, you know, if he just used rage and we're going to get we're chasing him, we're going to purge him so we can kill him after the rage, but problem was he had another escape in the infest, so very well done by EG to, like you say, take advantage of that opportunity to get themselves a Roshan, get an objective, and see where they go from here.
Smel's nearly got an Axe now in Pugna, which it only affects the cooldown these days, but it's pretty important. It means they have to actually deal with him in the fight. Like, if he just stands there draining people, they're going to lose the fight for sure. So Na'Vi are going to have to say, well, someone needs to be on Pugna duty now.
Yeah, this is definitely a hero you cannot ignore in a team fight. Consider what he can do. Perhaps with some BKBs on course, that changes a little bit. Just SF being able to frontline. Perhaps he's on Pugna duty, trying to burst him down with some razors. The BKB timing of the Shadow Fiend definitely seems key here. And looking at ways for Na'Vi to take fights, it also feels like this tiny tossbacks have to be happening in these fights. Finding some pickoffs in some way. General needs to get good initiations.
Moments, you know, a lot of the net worth disparity is actually on LeBron. Like, he just has nothing at all.
Yeah, Misery, Midas, you know, he's the 5 position player that kind of invented the 5 position Midas back in the old Crystal Maiden days. I remember Midas got nerfed several times, and largely because of him.
Yeah, it's something I actually worried a little bit about in this team, because most versions of EG have had this issue where maybe they're a little bit too greedy. Misery, he can't be there.
He thought he was backing up Arteezy, but he's the one getting caught out here, and Arteezy could actually get a kill out of this one. Yeah, sure does. Much bigger kill going EG's way.
Yeah, it's actually fine. I mean, I take back what I said. Doesn't matter if he dies.
Little at bottom, getting chased down by Arteezy. Waiting to ensnare, but there we go. Arteezy, second that happens, rage is out. Arteezy didn't actually have rage at the start of that, so perhaps an earlier ensnare could have saved him, but you're Naga there, you're saying I'm dead. I can't actually ensnare this guy, he's just gonna rage out of it and chase me down.
Deep. Turns around. They need to make a decision now if they want to go for the high ground, because PL split pushing. It looks like they will go. This is something we've seen EG do a lot recently. Any opportunity at all, they go straight to the high ground.
Yep, absolutely. They've got great high ground push. DK with the ulti form. He's got a BKB now as well. So for all that happened in the mid lane, Fear has recovered just fine. And Secret perhaps look for a blink initiation. His blink dagger was actually cancelled at the start. So there we go. Blinking with the Walrus Punch. They want to burst down the Phantom Lancer, and they will do so. He's going to have to buy back. The sleep was used, but Arteezy's got a second kill because he was still in the rage form. Can they find the kills they need? The Requiem gets winded up after the Meteor Hammer. They're going on crit first. The Tusk, the save hero, gets taken out, followed up by Fear. And I believe this will be a full-on retreat for EG, who may take further casualties. I say that Zumail is just going to hold his ground, takes out the Naga before he even goes down. He goes down fighting. Doesn't even feel too bad for EG, who get a tier 3 tower and force out a Phantom Lancer buyback.
Yeah, I mean, excluding the buyback, I'd say it's pretty good for Na'Vi, but the buyback is massive because they've got this 8-minute window now where if they just kill the PL, they already end the game.
That's definitely a fight that Na'Vi are fine with, like you say. If the PL hadn't gotten burst and had to buy back to start it off.
Radiant's middle tower.
That's how they want to take the fights, just without the PL back first.
And well, I think the nature of the fight went well is because Tusk was in the front lines. Like, Tusk is not going to be there unless he's getting a core kill. So any other time they try and make that sleep initiation, Tusk is very unlikely to get caught in that sleep into Meteor Hammer. And he's going to be the one blinking into Snowball save whoever does get caught. So we wait for Na'Vi to punish the over-aggression, but at the same time, you know, costly when you have to buy back a key hero like PL, who is, you know, he's keeping up. He's up there. Even with the buyback, he's still neck and neck with 2Ml's Pugna, only about 1,000 net worth behind the Lifestealer.
EG going for a smoke. They want to make use of the fact that they know PL doesn't have buyback.
Yeah.
Force the fight potentially.
And sleep cooldown, I think, even more importantly.
Yeah.
Straight down mid, these Raxes are still a little bit low from the last push, so I think Na'Vi have to give this up without sleep. I don't see a defense against the Rage Lifestealer who has Aegis still, by the way.
Yeah, they just have to ignore him. What happens if he goes to the next lane? That's the question.
That's when, yeah, questions will be asked of Na'Vi, who do have a BKB on Dendi. Arcane Rune as well, so Rex goes down. It's like EG pinging the Shrine and saying, let's play it safe, play it slow.
Yeah, and
they don't do too much.
They took most of Arteezy's mana just with the illusions.
Yeah. That's always something very good to do against these like low mana pool heroes. It used to be the way you had to play PL against one of his best counters. Sven is, you know, you just keep sending illusions at him, burning his mana pool, ideally before he uses like his spells, and suddenly the fight gets a lot more playable. But Aegis expires, so that's also why they did not go for that second lane. Easy does get his mana back because of that regeneration. Na'Vi and used. Crit is there, perhaps gonna get scanned up by General.
They haven't seen the Shadow Blade.
General gets the right click on 2Ml. The Avalanche follows up, and he gets stunned by Fear, who BKBs. Instead up, they can actually focus him down. Oh, that BKB is going to work against him. Ice Path catches out only just the one. There was a blink out to 2Ml, even with the Ice Path on top of him. It's going to take out the Naga with the life drain. It's 2Ml, though, surrounded by the Phantom Lance that Crystallize is trying to tear through EG. He's doing a decent job of it so far, but Dendi, BKB worn off. He is forced to fully retreat back to the high ground. Does not end up going down, and Crystallize possibly in a good position to chase, but does not have much mana to play around with. So it will just be a 2 for 2. Na'Vi losing supports while they did take down the Pugna.
Yeah, Dendi could have been in trouble, but it was a little bit unlucky. Arteezy's Rage ran out. He was busy hitting Dendi, and Dendi's Requiem went off like as the Rage ran out. So Arteezy took a huge amount of damage, and then they were a little bit apprehensive about following.
I'm not sure if the sleep was maybe cancelled a bit too soon, because I was surprised that 2Ml actually got the blink out and didn't get caught in the Ice Path that was on top of him. Like, that sleep wearing off, you can't actually blink out before the Ice Path hits you, I imagine.
No. Must have been just a slight mistime.
Yeah. Trying to, and that's the actual scary thing. If you can Ice Path on top of the sleep, you're not entirely relying on this Meteor Hammer, which isn't reliable, because you can, you know, use a blink out from it. So.
And that's, they really need to get the timing right, because that's like almost Jakira's entire role in these fights. Just get that Ice Path off.
See where things go from here as EG perhaps in a bit of a roadblock here. Even having taken one lane of Rags, they will not be in a rush to teamfight this big Naga sleep anytime soon, I feel. Not unless they have some kind of extra security and safety like the Aegis. Next one will include a cheese as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're in a situation where, sure, EG have got some Raxes, they've got a 7k advantage, but it actually feels to me like they're even further ahead than that. It feels to me like as long as they're smart about this and don't give any openings, they're in like a very dominating position.
Yeah. And you see where like they've got wards set up right outside the enemy base. They can play that kind of starvation Dota where it's like, well, we're not going to get a lane of Rax until we have an Aegis again, but perhaps we just keep them kind of starved out in their base, and we just farm more of the map, which seems to be more what EG are doing now.
Yeah, they're just waiting for a rush, and that's like to show how far ahead they are. They're against the Naga Siren combo. They feel like as soon as rush spawns, they're just going to get it.
Keeping many lanes pushed out. Instead, you snuck his way down bottom, so perhaps we'll find some way to pressure EG's one lane they have not addressed. EG just playing kind of in the mid and the top side of the map. Although they will start creep skipping the bottom lane with Crit's Tusk.
And Dendi's going for a very defensive build. He's going for Lincoln's after BKB. Yep. So yeah, like we said, he just really needs to make
top
sure.
Lane. Bot kill. Here with the blink stun. Too major.
They're not really important here at this stage.
Misery's just been like AFK in the Roche pit. He leaves the Roche pit now because he's going to use his Midas. He's like, okay, No, I'm done scouting Roche. Use my Midas and I'll go back to the Roche bit, but very much highlighting that Roche is going to be the main priority and objective for EG right now.
And you gotta wonder, like, I almost feel like it's gonna be, I almost feel like Na'Vi should just try sneak out and contest it, because it just feels like it's gonna be super difficult to deal with the Aegis.
I agree. I think they want to have the Jakira though. It's one of those scenarios where Na'Vi is behind to the point where every single spell matters. And Ice Path is going to be a deciding factor for a team fight when you're looking at the way it combos and synergizes with a Naga sleep. So just having a Jakira dead limits and prevents them contesting this Roche to me.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of their big advantages actually. They have that team fight lineup, but Roche is dying really fast, and I don't think there's really any opportunity there.
Hero only just respawning and several Na'Vi heroes playing around bottom trying to push that out. EG won't likely, we'll have to defend and won't be able to push immediately off of this, but there's time to play around with, and they've also got Ice Bar flying across the map.
I guess for Na'Vi to defend, they have to try get initiation and kill Sumail quickly. I think that's the way to do it. There's a BKB and a Rage and other heroes, Aegis.
General finds a AA. Quite a long respawn. Level 14 AA, and he gets out of there too, so...
Yeah, remember, Misery wasn't actually with them when they raxed mid. He stood in base and threw an ulti. So there's... Like, AA is one of the heroes that can actually impact from far away, so they don't necessarily have to wait that long.
The EG kind of hunting towards back to the mid lane, but they're finally addressing bottom. I mean, Na'Vi had kind of constantly kept this lane pushed out, pressured it, forced EG back, but it seems EG are actually going to prioritize pushing down bottom lane to maybe go for a high ground push over the other lanes. You see, there's an Aegis at mid game chipped away at to infest a creep here, and it's deniable. Not going to get the Ice Path. Get back to safety, but losing a decent chunk of his mana pool, which is a very small victory in itself if a push is coming in.
Just wonder whether EG don't want to wait for Pugna's BKB, because that's what I was saying. It's the one opening for Na'Vi to try and initiate it before he has it, but he's very close to it.
Yeah, and you get BKBs on all your cores, and suddenly you're a lot less susceptible to that big team fight combo of Na'Vis. And picking out the Naga, if they can get this kill, the team fight's just lost at that point, and well, they get the blink in, they get the Walrus Punch. Lil will not get the sleep off. BKB used by Fear to make sure that even if he did, he could finish off the kill, and the chase is on. Naga has no buyback. Not looking good for Na'Vi, who lose a second hero. Even with them just being supports down, it just feels like these cores cannot play without those supports. Crystallize perhaps the last hope. He is the farm carry for Na'Vi, but he cannot do it alone, and General and Dendy are going to be key here. Dendy pops the BKB, trying to fight, but he can only do so much, and it seems like EG have well and truly overrun Na'Vi at this point. Aegis and Cheese still in hand. Sumail playing the medic, healing up some of his cores, and
Tiny's bought back, but what exactly are they meant to do?
yeah, he can't team fight without sleep. He actually used it and died was the worst part, so he's going to respawn and not have sleep. I believe he got just like half a second of sleep off before he died, and even if he got more up, he was still dying to the BKB Dragon Knight plus Rage Lifestealer. Fear, Cheese off just in time, keeps himself alive. Teezy's there to back him up, looking for the kill on General. This will be a dieback if he goes down, and yep. He is brought down in game one, looking very difficult for Na'Vi at this point, and well and truly, really in the book it seems, as Teezy gets gone and has got the Aegis. Gonna just turn and chase and keep looking to fight and chase Lil. Lil kept alive just barely by the Force Staff here. The respawn coming from the Aegis. Arteezy, does he look to keep on fighting or back off? Perhaps time for EG just to fall back, say, look, we got two lanes. We're not worried about this game dragging. A 20k gold lead at this point, you're not worried about the game dragging out. But nope, they say we're back in. Here's a BKB. We want Crystallize. Arteezy going to change targets as he can't really catch onto the elusive PL. He's going to go for the Naga. We'll get the Naga. And now look for more as Rage wears off. And this time, I think EG will retreat.
Yeah, but at this stage, it's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of going through the motions for EG. They just need to make sure they don't make any mistakes, and this game's going to wrap up pretty soon. Yeah,
it felt like once that second lane goes down, and maybe Na'Vi could have made some big hold if the Naga doesn't get caught under in the mid lane. Second lane, it well and truly is, you know, going through the motions. Barring any highness throws and mistakes from EG, this game is more or less unwinnable for Na'Vi.
Yeah, if the PL somehow gets into the lifestealer and just gets to attack for 5 seconds, sure, that could go well.
Big if. This Lifestealer does have a Shiver's Guard. Not your everyday Lifestealer build, but definitely one that works very well against the PL. Armor, some AoE damage, and more magic damage for Crystallize to worry about. He will just be attacking slower and chipped away because of this. Nether Blast will finish off the tower. EG happy to kind of slow roll their way through this one if they need to.
Naga's got the ulti again. I guess Na'Vi might just try for one more combo attempt, but I don't know if they can actually initiate with it. They might have to just use it to counter initiate.
Find out soon enough. General goes in looking for Sumail, but Sumail with a BKB. Now the sleep comes. Can they focus down the Pugna? He's still life drained with a BKB. Finishes off General. He's just holding his own. Sumail is not afraid of anyone. Crystallize on the PL, getting bursted as well. He's in trouble. He's trying to phantom rush his way out of there. Gets caught by the open moves, and now he is done for as Na'Vi crumble under the EG dive, as this is definitely it. Then he gets snowballed on. Crystallize going to go down for a second time if he's not careful. And he will go down fighting as Na'Vi drop game one. Pretty close game, I feel like, at the start. But once EG got that first Roshan and found that first lane of racks, definitely didn't feel like Na'Vi had ways back in.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it was close in the metrics, but I want to say that EG kind of always had the momentum. And that's very important in the way that EG play. Like, they're a team right now that when they have momentum, it seems like they're pretty much always winning. Like, it has to go against them. And we talked about before how the Tiny was the hero that needed to do that, and he just kept dying and dying and dying. The blink was far too late, and that's something that I think Na'Vi would have to look at going into the next game.